Doesn't say live on the upper left-hand side. There it is.
And we're live with RioPolitics. This is Josh and Roman coming at you tonight. How you doing, my friend?
We're doing good. I think you went on. You came on too early, Josh. We need to make sure we share. We're waiting for Miss Miller. There you are. We're waiting for Miss Miller. Hopefully she comes back.
She's here.
Okay, good. Bring her on. Cool. Hi, Miss Miller.
We're
Hello,
live, Miss
sir.
Miller.
How are you?
There you go. All right. Miss Miller, are you there? Are you able to share the feed, Miss Miller?
You want me to do the feed now?
Yeah, share it if you can.
Okay, here it goes. Let's see, Facebook, and then RioPolitics,
Yes.
and then it's coming on, and then share.
The live
Right
feed.
there, right there. I'm sharing.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you share it. And let me see if it shows up on your feed. Sorry, guys,
Yep.
we don't have music today. Manny is not on the show with us today. Manny is busy today.
Okay,
So,
it's sharing on my thing. Okay.
it is all right. Now come back, Miss Miller, so we can see your face.
Yep, right about there. Can you see my face now?
No, not yet. Alice
Okay.
Black.
Let me give it a try. Okay, let's see. Ta-da. Load preview. Okay, it's coming.
All right, let's go. Hopefully it'll get there. All right.
Here it goes.
Okay, we got some time. We're still waiting for people to come on the show. Hey, guys. All right. Okay. She'll come back. I promise you. She'll come back. This has happened a couple times. We've been practicing this because she's never done this with the phone the way we've asked her.
There she is.
Is she back?
I think so. Yeah, there we
Awesome.
go.
There she is. Good job.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yay, Miss Miller. Okay,
Yes.
good. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Real Politics Live. Like I said earlier, Manny is not with us today. He's not dead or anything. He just is not able to be on the show with us today. But we have Josh Peltier from Cameron County Conservatives Facebook page, and he will be manning the Manny station. And
I'll attempt to man the Manny station.
Might
So
not be as
bear with
good
me
as
for a
Manny.
second.
It'll be okay. You'll be fine, man. Josh, is it okay? I just call you Manny Josh. Hey, Claudia, how you doing? Good
Claudia.
evening. You're home. You made it back from Tulsa, Miss Miller. Claudia was in Tulsa, and according to Chris Wallace in the debate last night, Tulsa is very, very dangerous. It's a horrible place to live in Tulsa because murder and violent crimes are skyrocketing.
So it's Chicago,
Tulsa.
no?
That's what Chris Wallace said. I had no idea, so I'm just grateful, Claudia, that you made it back from the great, well, I guess not so great, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And just so you know, there's always an earthquake that just happened right now, 5.1 in California.
Oh my goodness gracious! I wonder why that's going on. Did that have something to do with climate change? Because apparently climate change, according to Chris Wallace, is causing all kinds of problems.
Maybe that, but then sometimes around now, all those fires are bringing instability because there's no trees to hold on into anything. And remember, there's plates. So, it's just kind of like a combination of everything.
Yeah. So the wildfires, I guess, are you saying that they're weakening the ground and they're causing the earthquakes? That's what you're saying, Ms. Miller?
It's a combination, a little bit of everything.
Okay, cool beans. I have no idea what he was talking about. Tulsa's beautiful city. I agree. I mean, I was shocked, Claudia, that he said what he said about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and what he said about Fort Worth. I was just shocked. Well, Miss Miller, welcome. This is Miss Argelia Miller. I have known Miss Miller for long as I've probably been alive. No, I'm just kidding. No, maybe about 10 years, Miss Miller. I think I've known you.
Well, I think it's a little bit more than that because remember that we used to know Mr. Moses Orola when Mr. Casoria and Mr. Robert Rodriguez, we all used to run.
Yeah, Miss Miller. I loved Mr. Sorolla. I just adored
the most honorable person.
Really and truly such a great human being, a great man, and it's been such a pleasure. I've known him, and I miss him. I really do.
And I'm gonna throw a tidbit right there for his son, Mr. Luis. Whenever he needs anything, he can just go ahead and give us a call because we owe a debt to Mr. Moses Sorolla, whether we need to reciprocate with his son and his family.
Miss Miller is. I promise I'm not dead. Okay. Yeah, you're not like.
Penny.
Man, you're not like Paul McCartney. Miss Miller, is it okay if you move the camera, your phone, just a little bit down so that you're there? Yeah, if you can find a way to keep it where you're high like that, it'd be better because
Mhm.
the comments from Facebook come on, it covers your face completely, and I don't want that. There you go.
Yes. See, the thing is, it's just that I
It
don't want
doesn't
to
want to hold,
my
right?
chin, my second
No,
chin.
no, no. Don't worry about it. A lot of comments are gonna come on. Don't worry, you'll be okay. Yeah, I have it too. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. We're not
I'm
at
putting you on top of my Alexa.
It's not like Erasmo, like he's gonna go over to Monterrey and get it fixed or something like that. I'm not
Yes.
like
Well,
him.
I'm tempted.
Nah,
See,
don't do that.
some way, somehow, the telephone, even if I put 2, 3 or something, it just kind of like it leans to that side.
Okay. All right. I don't know how you're holding it. Hey Ray, how y'all
Good
doing?
evening, Ray. How are you, sir?
Please like and
Hi,
share the
Mr.
feed.
Ray. It's a
We'd
pleasure
like as
seeing
many
you,
people
sir.
to be able to watch Miss Miller. Okay, Miss Miller. You are running for BISD trustee place three.
3.
Place three. There are 4 candidates in place 3. You're one of the 4, right?
That's correct.
Miss Miller, who are you? Tell us about who you are.
Well, the only thing that I can tell the people that don't know me is just that I'm a retired Air Force. I retired from the Air Force 24 years and 3 months. I work in the federal government. I work at the Internal Revenue, Social Security, at the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, where we transferred here. And then since 2000, I've been living here, and I volunteer in many places in Brownsville Independent School District. So I'm kind of like been keeping up with Brownsville, the city, the county. And so anyone that knows me knows about my ethics, the integrity, and they can go ahead and see that mostly what I'm running is transparency, because I see a lot of my friends and my friends' friends that they're concerned of what's happening here in the Rio Grande Valley with the city and the county, and especially Brownsville Independent School District. And so that's really how I can sum it up. If you want education, well, I have an associate's, bachelor's, and the master's degree, and I'm trying to go ahead and apply now that they have, because I fall under the Hazelwood Act, due that I'm retired veteran, I can apply for the PhD with no application fee, nor the GRE and the GMAT, but I can take those later. Like whatever things that, all the exams, you can take them later. They're just kind of delayed due to the COVID. And, that's all I can tell you about me.
And
So,
you're retired now, though, right?
retired, completely retired. So technically, I am here to, if you want my services as a servant of the Brownsville Independent School District Board of Trustee, I will be full time because I am retired. It's not
You
like I have kids or like I have, a job, or like I have any other priorities that will uh, stop me from being a full time, 24/7, 365 days servant of the community. And that's what we are. We serve the community.
Yeah, because I mean, last I heard from you, Miss Miller, you were in San Antonio, you were in Colorado,
Yes.
enjoying the
Well,
life
let me
of being
let me tell
retired.
you, being retired, when you can go ahead and get a military hop, and you can go to Spain or Germany or Italy. The thing is that when COVID started, they say we're gonna close the uh, the continent. So I had no choice but to come back or to stay there. And a lot of people got stuck over there. Now in Colorado, um, I do have relatives, and I have my mom living in Monterey, California. When I mention Monterey, a lot of people think that it's
Monterrey,
Monterrey,
Mexico.
Mexico. No, it's Monterey,
No,
California. That's where I used to work, and my mom
right.
stayed there. So then, technically, Wisconsin, I just go and visit a relative. So technically, I can just get in an airline and then go over there. And I have a friend that is in the Navy, retired. He was a safety officer for the Navy, so he flies a plane. So sometimes when he needs to do a sortie, he just says, "Anybody wants a ride?" So he calls his friends, and he just, "Okay, I need a ride from Harlingen to Monterey, California, or San Diego." And then we just go out there and we stay with friends that we know in the military. So it's not like you spend money. You just kind of like know your friends and you have connections. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
if you see me, I'll be at the meetings, but there'll be times that when there's no meetings, I say, okay, I can just go ahead and fly from Harlingen to Colorado, and then you can catch me there via internet.
Yeah, via internet, and everything's on the internet now. I mean, that's what
Yes,
everything is.
and see that's
Um,
what surprised me, sir, that the universities, they're doing everything online.
yeah.
Everything is online. Why did Brownsville Independent School District, the superintendent, just kind of like se quedó dormido y no hizo lo que toda la gente estaba haciendo por
Mhm.
todo el dinero que le están pagando, 400,000 y algo, que es más que lo que le pagan a un superintendente de California, y sin saber qué hacer con un distrito que es tan importante, because that's how he was hired. He was hired to be proactive, to have a plan, not to just react. Well, let's see. We just kind of play as it goes. Let's see how many people die, and then we stop and close. Let's see how many people get sick, and then we close some more schools. That's not the way that, that's why, that's not the reason he was hired. So that's really my concern. If you ask me, why are you running? There you go. That's the reason I'm running.
Well,
Then,
I
but
haven't even got to that point at all. I was going to get to that point in a second because I want to know a little bit more about you and introduce people because not everybody knows you like I think I know you, Ms. Miller. You've run for office before. What have you run for before? I
um,
not
yeah, at one time in 2008, remember that you were running also, and I was
yeah,
running for district. It was a district 4,
yeah.
and then Mr. Carlos Masso and I, we ran at 2010, and of course Mr.
But of
Masso,
course,
nobody wanted to run against him because he's
right.
Mr. Masso from the Masso family in Mexico. And I go, I just kind of think, okay, then I'll run, and then I just went in there on a, I don't know, Tuesday, because they were gonna close at 5 o'clock, and then I did my paperwork.
Mhm.
And this way, it makes people have more choices. Of course, I don't have the political machine that Mr. Masso had. I don't have the money that Mr. Masso had. I don't have, the finances that people throw in because he's a special interest. So, you know, and that's the thing and then I ran also in 2012. Um, and I think it was like for BISD. And then 2016, just about last time that I ran, and that's when they chose Mr. Cowan. And see, so, and then
Yeah, 'cause
here,
I remember you running for BISD against
yes.
Mr. Cowan. That's why I was asking you this question.
Mhm,
I have a reason why I ask questions.
mhm.
You ran against him, Mr. Cowan, in 2016, and you were not able to beat him. And is there a particular reason why this time around you decided to run again and run specifically against Mr. Cowan?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was in San Antonio, and then I called BISD, and I say, "Sir, when are they closing, or the last day to go ahead and do your packet?" And then he says, "Oh, it's Friday." No, or one of the board secretary says, "It's Monday or Friday, something like that." Oh, Monday. And then I says, "Oh, okay." So I drove from San Antonio, and then it was a Thursday. I was gonna file for 5, and then I was there, and I was, kind of like within 15 minutes. I say, "I'm here," and I told the security in the main building, "Can you call somebody to kind of like so I can do my packet?" They gave me the packet. I filled it in, and then they were notarizing it, and I just instead of putting 5, I just put 3. I could have put 7, I could put a 6, I could put a 2, but then I just kind of say, you know what, 3. And it's just like a fate thing. It just is nothing that I have anything against anybody, because nobody owns the places. Nobody owns the places. It's for the voters to decide who they want there at Brownsville Independent School District board as a board of trustee. Does it
Right.
make sense to you? Because it
Yeah.
makes
So
sense to
so
me.
you weren't actually you just randomly chose number 3, and it just happened to
Yes.
be the one you ran before.
Correct.
So you weren't
But
actually
again,
running
it could have been
specifically
number
against Mr.
7.
Cowan.
It could have been number 6. It could have been number 5. It could have been number 2. And I just went in there and I says, "Do I put 5? No, let me put 3." See, just that's how just kind of like, okay, let me put 3. And see,
And
no
do
randomly.
you know who's running? There's so many people running. Is place 5 the one that
Okay,
is?
let me go ahead and tell you who. Number
Yeah, 'cause
7 is Mr. Joe Rodriguez with Mr. Carlos Elizondo, and I respect them both.
and that's
Number
number 7.
6 is Miss Minerva Peña with Miss Marisa Leal and with Mr. 66666, Mr. Joe Rodriguez. And
Mhm.
I respect them all. And number 5 is Mr. Erasmo Castro with Miss Isabella Lopez, Vega Lopez. And then number 3 is myself. And then the other 3 unnamed people that is one of them is Miss Gonzalez, and the one
Mhm.
that is there and Mr. Vito Cárdenas, whom I respect a lot. And then number 2, that's where Mr. I'm missing that 2. Oh yes, number 7 was Mr. Carlos Elizondo with Mr.
Yeah, no,
Eddie
number
Garcia.
two is
That's right.
number 2 is
Yes,
Frankie Olivo,
number
Denise
yes.
Garza, and
And then
Jaime Diaz.
number two is Mr. Frankie, and then is Mr. Diaz, and then is Miss Garza. And so,
Well, but I want to go back. So you were actually going into as the joke to run for place 5, and you decide all of a sudden just to run for place 3. So
well,
if
to
you
be
would have
honest
fought for
with you,
place 5, you would have run against
I
Erasmo.
was even thinking about 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, and it just kind of like, oh, okay, 5, 3, and again, it was kind of like, you can say fate, you can say somebody said,
Well, no,
hey,
I don't want to say. I'm not. I only said fake because it's like because you used the word fake earlier, and I was just very surprised by that. It's like you almost ran against Erasmo. I wonder if Erasmo knows that you almost ran against me.
well,
But
to be honest with you, it was kind of one of those things that you said, it doesn't belong to anybody. And because I've heard that, a lot of people were gonna be being in there in the, in the candidate basket, then I figure, well, whoever happens to be happens to be.
right,
It's like I don't have anything against anybody, and those places belong to no one.
I agree with you on that.
Needs to
I really
decide.
do. It belongs to the people. So
That's correct.
allowing people to have choices is vitally important. But you ended up choosing to run in place 3, and you're now running against Phil Cowan. Since you ran against him 4 years ago, is there anything in particular that now that you decided, to file, it was an accident you filed against him, but is there anything he's doing wrong right now that you've assumed,
Well,
that's
how about if something that I can do better? Transparency,
Mhm.
integrity. You can go ahead and tell people where they stand and not kind of bring these miscommunications like, oh, we did this, and then you find out that no, it wasn't done. I can give you an example. They knew that they were supposed to go ahead and do a what is an extension, and it wasn't done. It was just kind of like this. In my opinion, they dilly-dally too long. They denied, and they were on denial, accepting the fact that people have died in Stillman, Miss Rosie. People have gotten sick in other schools, in Lopez, in what, I can mention all the schools that people got sick, but then BISD was so hush hush. Bay State was another one, and they were so hush hush until they got it by the thing. Either do you want an extension, you have to justify it, or you don't want an extension because you're running late, and then they have to justify it. Oh, yeah, there's people that have gotten sick and people that have died, and and it's gonna okay. Why do they do that? And see why they lie to you, they conceal things, they hide things, they manipulate things. So it's kind of like that's not being honest with the voters, with the community. And so I'm not saying I can do a better job than Mr. Cowan because he's been there, but for the same token, he's been there too long that people need somebody with a different perspective, not somebody that is dilly-dally. I'm going to tell you how it is. You might not like it, but it's the truth.
One of the issues right now that's happening at BISD, and in particular with Mr. Cowan, Phil Cowan, your opponent, the incumbent, is he claimed on a Facebook post that, hey, none of the kids are going to go back to campus till the end of the year, and I want to make sure I get the wording right. I don't want to be accused that I'm not saying.
Well, normally the way you can cover yourself is what I heard or what I
No.
understood.
It's not I heard. I literally, it's there. I mean, he wrote, and I quote Mr. Cowan. This was from Wednesday at 5:10 last week on Wednesday. I am pleased to announce that BISD got the green light from TEA to keep our distance learning going through the end of this semester. This waiver didn't happen by chance, and that is why leadership matters, end quote. Now, I don't know, did you see the city commission meeting last night at all?
No, I did not, sir. I was between the city commission
in that city commission meeting, the Brownsville ISD superintendent made it very clear that no such waiver has been submitted.
That's correct.
For the third, fourth week.
That's correct.
And what is your opinion on Mr. Cowan's falsehood and misleading people into thinking that he's a leader somehow? Because obviously, according to the superintendent last night, there is no distance learning
Well,
guarantee.
the only thing that I can say about Mr. Cowan is just that maybe somebody's feeding him wrong information, and that could be his excuse. But honestly, it seems like that's been his excuse for the longest, ever since he started being in BISD, because most of the time he claims that we're going to have hotspots. They claim, he claimed that they were going to have, all the iPads. He claimed, and all these things that, se para el cuello y luego pobre sale por debajo de la mesa.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I'm a parent. I'm not only a voter, but I'm a parent and to find out that Brownsville, and he wasn't the one he was the one that posted it. It was shared by Percy Roca tipped in. It was shared by Eddie Garcia. It was shared by a lot of different people that are in office right now at BISD sharing it. So was he misleading them? Hey, hi Roy, we'd be nice.
Hi, sir.
Be nice. No, Argelia is always very nice. You know what? I gotta say this. They threw him under the bus. I don't know if they threw him under the bus for real. I can honestly say Miss Miller is one of the nicest people in politics that I've met. There is not a negative thing you can say about Miss Miller. You may disagree with her politics, but she's one of the sweetest people in politics, and I'll say that's to anybody. I don't think there's anybody nicer than you and Miss Miller. I don't know. I don't know how you can be so nice in politics, quite frankly.
Well,
but
it kind of goes this way, sir. You just have to be nice to people because unless you want to tell them how it is, even if it's constructive criticism, la está regando, hombre. And right now, pues los que están ahí en la mesa directiva la están regando, sir. La están regando. Si no, no hubiera gente que anduviera corriendo con ellos. Hi, Mr. Manny.
Hey, Manny. He threw himself under the bus. Yes, I agree with you, Manny. I think look. So, my concern is you have elected officials at BISD right now. One of them is running your opponent, and another person is running again, also Eddie Garcia, sharing these things that we have, and they're promoting it like it's fact because he posted it, but the superintendent is saying hey, Sochi, say something completely different. So, what are your thoughts? I mean, honestly, other than the fact that what you've already said.
I think that the other board of trustees just push the like button or share button without really knowing, verifying that if it's a true fact or not. And see, and again, this is my humble opinion. I think they just share the like button and the share button without knowing if it's really true. Because if they had any common sense, they would not throw themselves under the bus también.
I think it's ridiculous to say that would be the case because I've seen I know of people that are being corrected by certain board members. Oh, if you say, that this happened in the budget, and they're like, you said you're wrong on that, blah, blah, blah. And like, why wouldn't they do that publicly to Mr. Cowan? All those elected officials, all Eddie Garcia and Prissy Roca Tipton and others are doing
another thing is que a lo mejor piensan que somos muy tontos que nos van a periquear con cualquier cosa.
How are they going to be able to trick us when we know based off what the superintendent has said, we're not guaranteed. There is no waiver. In fact, the waiver that he claims was submitted is not going to be submitted until October 6th, is what the superintendent said yesterday.
And it has to be approved, which is kind of like some paperwork that has to be gone through. In other words, you can put leave request, but it still has to go through the channels, and it can be approved or it can be denied. Because from here to whenever, a lot of things can change. And see, this is the problem, that he's not advocating for the community. And this is the problem, that he's not working. He's not doing his job as a servant of the community. And eso es lo que digo yo. La están regando.
And he's spending a lot of money in this race, Ms. Miller. Obviously, he's spending boatloads of money. We all know who he hired to run his campaign. We've seen his signs. We've seen his advertisement, his Facebook page.
I know a couple of politiqueras, and I'm not going to give any names, but, I can go ahead and tell you which ones, that they say that so-and-so is paying them $3,000 or paying them $5,000 just to hold the signs. Now, when you go on the first day of election, the first day of early election, and you see who's holding signs for whom, then you're going to know who's paying who, and he's not recording it. And see, so now this week or by Monday or Tuesday, we should have the
Well, the
financial
campaign
reports
finance
done.
report. Yeah, the campaign finance reports are due October 5th. And I'm just wondering, have you already finished your campaign finance report? Since you brought it up, have you finished yours already?
Sir, my financial report, I'm financing myself.
I know. I'm just kidding. I know that. You see, the grassroots candidates do that, and we have to be open about it. But it's going to be very surprising the amount of money that he's spending.
Yes.
And I can only imagine how much money the man is
And they
spending.
better be careful because these are the things that normally get verified at the secretary of something when you turn them in, and they get verified with, is it really, did they pay El Rocinante, or did they pay so and so, or they pay so and so, and how come it's not showing, or how come it shows that they only did like $1,000 and they have like a kabillion signs everywhere, or the just even a Brownsville Herald runs you between 1,500 and 2,000 for a like advertising. So you cannot say that you're spending 2,000 and you have a Brownsville Herald and kabillion signs and and paying politiqueras. You know what I mean? And that goes for the newbies, for the rookies that is their first time. Makes sense.
Fine.
So
Fix
I'm
my
just
back.
trying to
No,
give
no.
that
Okay. Miss
some
Miller, I'm gonna have to ask this question. I should have asked this since we're talking about campaign finance. So I wasn't going to, but I might as well ask. Are you hiring any? Do you have anybody running your campaign?
please, sir. Please, sir.
Are you doing any
No, I'm not
advertising in
hiring
the
anybody.
Herald
I'm
or
going to
the
be putting
blogs?
my own signs on the five corners. I pay for my own mask and disinfectants, which BISD failed to provide, even though I have a letter there that is some running in the that the superintendent said they were going to buy the N whatever something mask for the nurses, for the employees. Puro guato. Las pobres nurses ahí andan expose themselves to all the germs. No tienen disinfectants, y los que tienen son del año del caldo de María Candelaria, cuando apenas Saint Agnes of Assisi or whatever estaba ahí. Y luego las máscaras nunca, they never came into fruition. So no, I'm not hiring anyone. I'm going to be holding my own signs. I'm going to be out
You're
there
not
in the
paying.
five
You're not going to
corners.
do any advertising in the blogs because I know that your opponent is advertising in the blogs. You're not though,
And
right?
everywhere. Oh yes, I can see him everywhere with like in a name, whatever, something, that con la silla como que se está tapando las lonjitas o algo.
Well, no, because yesterday, one of the things that I've been concerned about, and other people have been concerned about, is the amount of advertising that certain candidates are doing on some of the blogs, in particular the porn blog, and the fact that in that particular blog, the person glorifies rape of women, is very misogynistic, and then you have him posting, oh, vote for this person, and your opponent, his advertising is freaking everywhere.
Well, this is the only thing that I can tell you. See, in love in war, everything is possible. Okay, love in war, everything is possible. And then I'm not judgmental. If they want to go ahead and advertise in the stileros and put a sign, vote for so and so, it's their prerogative. But again, it's up to the public, to the voters, to come and choose who they want to vote. Y luego después, si no votan, es cuando comienza el lloradero. So, like a lot of you ran before for city commission, and
Right.
you know how te inventan cosas,
yeah.
de esas te las inventan, te le sacan la garra, esto
absolutely.
y otro. See, and it just kind of like you put yourself out there at the mercy of whomever to be a blank of cosas que son, like cosas que son falsas. And then dices, tú sabes qué, mi Padre Celestial, que me proteja. De los que van a votar.
My concern, and I've other candidates have come on and they've expressed their concern as well, is, we as a community need to expect more from our candidates, and if our candidates are paying for advertising on a porn blog that does post pictures of naked women,
and let's say that they're not, maybe they just kind of like giving a birthday present, like a Christmas present, and he's not gonna show up in the financial report how much people have paid so and so and so and so to promote you, because you
Yeah.
and I, we know how we've done it before, the financial reports, and how they can do the letter of the law of the spirit of the law. You know what I mean? Like, in
Understood.
other words, like sometimes people, as a candidate, they can say, oh, well, so and so gave me, $2,000, but it was a birthday present, because I know that some people have done it. Make
Wow.
sense?
Yeah, I makes sense, but that's astounding that people would do that. Um,
And I can even give
well,
you a name, and Lineberger, when other people have run for candidates of the BISD Brownsville Independent School District, they have given $1,000 to all the candidates to see who's going to come in, or $500 to all the candidates to see who's going to go ahead and win. And if you look at previous financial reports, the contract or if he is now an employee of Brownsville Independent School District, Baltasar Salazar, he has given money to Cesar Lopez, to other people. So in case if they will run and they won, they will go ahead and vote, which was a conflict of interest, vote to extend him for another something time to be the attorney for Brownsville Independent School District. And that was a conflict of interest. See,
so
and
you,
these are the things that we see in there, that they're happening. But
but you believe there are quid pro quos, to use the phrase that's been popular this during the
look
impeachment
at
trial.
me,
There's a
sir.
quid pro quo.
Wink, wink. Okay, sir.
Yeah, understood. That's fair. Sochi had a question. Josh, I don't know if you can put it back up. Sochi's question was, "Does Miss Miller do the best forum?" Miss Miller, I didn't see you in the best
I was
forum.
not invited, Miss Sochi.
What?
I was
Why
not
did they not invite
invited.
you? Why did Patrick and the best organization not invite you to the forum?
Well, I guess it's his choice to invite who he's gonna go ahead and throw a dog and pony show. It's his choice. He's the best guru, or so he claims. And even after he does his dog and pony show, then they already, my opinion, know who they're going to support. But again, thank you, Miss Oshi, for asking that question. No, I was not invited. So are my points
Yeah,
correct?
I'm actually very the BISD fashion mask. I don't know what that is, Royal.
Oh,
Um,
hello.
that's very, maybe he wants to wear high heels. I have no idea. What, Sochi asking why. Miss Miller, I'm really very disappointed. As a voter, as somebody who's been active in politics, that you were not invited in that particular forum. My understanding is neither you and another candidate in your race were endorsed by any of the teachers associations.
That's correct.
And you,
And I
how
was
do you
I
feel
was a
about that?
member of TVA, and I
Is
taught Mr.
is
Alegría for the
TVA,
longest time.
which one is TVA? Is which one? Is that
TVA is
AOB?
Alberto Alegría,
Okay, all right. I want to make
and I
sure.
know Mr. Alegría. Like when I moved here in 2000, I was volunteering at Porter, and that's how I used to know Mr. Alegría, because I used to be a volunteer at the parent center. Every day I used to be a volunteer, and even then, on the time that I ran, no hard feelings. This is for Mr. Alegría. He's my friend, and I think the highly of him and his lovely family. But he has never supported me. He either
Mm.
support the people that he thinks that they're gonna win, because they give them a small amount of money, and then they make phone calls and texting and everything to support the ones that TVA promotes. And the same thing with Best. Why Best didn't invite me? Well, it's
Well, TVA
irrelevant.
didn't do. Ms. Rodriguez didn't do a forum at all. AOBE did, and you participated in that one, if I'm not mistaken. And the best, I'm glad Sochi asked. I didn't see you. It was just two of your opponents were there.
Yes.
And
And
Ms.
let me tell you
Rodriguez.
something. One time when I was running, I'm trying to remember if it was the first time that I was running against 2014. They had their forum at Antonio's on the top floor. And I go, oh, Betsy's going to have a forum. Go over there. So I went over there, and Mr. Patrick Hammes says, you cannot go in, you cannot come in. And I go, why? I was in the stairs, and Mr. Patrick Hammes says, you cannot come in. And Mr. Whittemore, Ken Whittemore, I think the world of him. and he was just there, and he wanted to get up and kind of come in my defense, and I just go, no, it's all right, like I can fend for myself. And I go, why, sir? Why do you don't want me to come in? It is a forum so that people get to know everybody. And he says, you were not invited. And I go, okay. And see, and then even before then, they did another forum at the, where the Big Lots is at. There's like it was a little something like a reception area, or, where you do like quinceañeras or something. Mm-hmm. And I went there for the best forum before the one in Antonio's.
But you were not a candidate for these. Were you a candidate for any of these races?
Yes, ma'am. In 2000, and I was a candidate for BISD for both place 3 running. I think it was Mr. Powers, which he goes hunting a lot with Mr. Patrick Ames. And then the next time, that's when I was running in the forum. And then this one, when I happened in Antonio's, that's when I think they had like a little something. Mr. Powers and Mr. Cheese had like a little brouhaha, remember? That and I go, okay, Father God.
That was at the library, though. That one I believe was at the library.
Mm-hmm.
The one.
Okay. Well, the one that I'm talking about, it was Antonio's, that Mr. Patrick forbid me to go in there because I was not invited. And I go, okay. And again, I don't take it personal. It's just kind of like, it is his choice, but he's not being transparent. And see, and then he give you some excuse of, no, we're not voting we're not supporting this because they didn't support us with this and this and that and whatever. Well, maybe at the time there was a reason that it was not appropriate to support him, but it seems like he takes things very personal, and it's my opinion que es muy rencoroso y se las cobra. Pero yo no le he hecho nada. So we leave it to the Lord.
Yeah.
It's under the bridge now. Next question.
Yeah. No, that was Sochi's question. Guys, if you are watching us live right now, anybody have any questions for Ms. Miller, please feel free to post them. I know Ms. Miller doesn't have any problems answering any questions you have. Ms. Miller, I do, want to ask more specific question, Josh, but I haven't allowed Josh to ask any questions. Josh, do you have any questions? You're just being very quiet, so you're not.
I'm trying to make sure I'm taking care of our
it's a little bit more complicated when you have to do a
my first time running it. Yeah, I have a question for Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller, is there one area of BISD that you would be more passionate about than others? Would you say your focus would be maybe athletics or special needs or fine arts?
Let me answer that question, sir. When you are a parent, and if you are a servant of BISD, I'm giving you a simile. You love all your children. You love the employees, the teachers, the students, and you love all the departments. Because remember, sir, I was there from 2000 or so until February the 13th for my Valentine's, when I decided to retire. Plus, I bought 5 years from the military, so it gave me enough time to really retire and go overseas. And when I saw you, Mr. Roman Perez, I just drove to San Antonio and got my app, and I went to Spain, and I was going to stay in Spain for God knows how long until the credit card max, or they kick me out of the base for being unruly or something. And then all of a sudden, we got this thing from the commander of the bases. Well, they're going to be closing this, and if you don't go ahead and hop in on the next to something, then you're going to be stuck and stranded here in quarantine. And I go, okay, bye. See you, sayonara. And I came back to San Antonio.
Yeah.
And just a quick follow-up, Ms. Miller, is there anything you feel right now that BISD is doing really well, and what can be improved?
Hi, sir. What is BISD doing real well? Are they treating very well their teachers and employees? Not. Did they give the compensation or se los hicieron de agua? Yes. Are they dilly-dallying and being reacting to all the COVID thing instead of being proactive? Yes. It would be easier if you kind of reverse that question. What exactly is BISD doing right now that is good? Nothing. What can be improved? Everything. And again, sir, you might not like what I tell you, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to kind of say, ¿la están regando?
No, I appreciate the honesty, Ms. Miller. I appreciate the honesty. Thank you for answering the question honestly. I appreciate that.
Guys, again, if you have any questions, feel free to answer. If not, it's just gonna be me and Josh asking questions. I'd like y'all to be participating as much as possible. But maybe we could do rapid fire. And you all want, you ready to do rapid fire, Miss?
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire is about 2 minutes long. I don't know if Josh can do the time. I don't have a lot of questions.
Rapid fire, and then we can call it and see what happens.
Okay, yeah, because we have a lot of people. I'm sure they're gonna do the random questions, and I already know Ray's gonna jump in. So I'm waiting for your questions, Ray. All right. The first question: favorite BISD high school football team?
Oh, all of them.
Very political answer, Miss.
I know people everywhere, so they're all my favorites.
Favorite color: red or blue?
Red, blue, and white. Patriotic.
Oh, wait, no. Which one? Red or blue? Which is more your favorite?
Blue.
Blue.
That's the one that I'm wearing right now.
Okay, cool. Is the movie Top Gun with Tom Cruise realistic or not realistic? Since you're in the middle.
Not really. It's filmsy. Like films.
Okay. Is that your favorite Tom Cruise movie? At all?
No. It's in Company of Heroes and The Lone Survivor. It's by Luttrell. Is my favorite movie.
Okay. Oh, that's your favorite movie but oh wow, okay.
The Lone Survivor. Remember that the Luttrell guy that survived with the when he went with the Navy SEALs, and then how about the one where they forgot? Hey, sir, remember the one that they forgot that they asked for help, and the Navy SEALs they never got any help, and then the ambassador got killed. Remember? Now that's a good one. And then they say that he had died, and then he didn't die because that YouTube came in and it showed that he was still alive, being dragged somewhere. Okay, sorry, it's more than 2 minutes.
Okay, no. I understand. Godfather 1 or Godfather 2?
Both of them were good.
Okay. All right. Feel free to ask nobody has any questions on Facebook. Nobody. I'm waiting for y'all to ask a question for the rapid fire, but no. Okay, I know Royal always wants me to ask this question. Chess or checkers?
Chess. I love checkers, but I like to learn chess. Mr. Chessman, you need to go ahead and get a hold of me because I need to start learning chess.
It's a fun game. Iron Man or Batman?
Batman.
Okay, well, it's okay. I got a few more. Zach Cantu's from KRV has 2 sponsored questions. I don't know if you know Zach Cantu, but he always asks us to ask these questions. They're his sponsored questions. Pie or cake?
Pie. I like pie because it's a pecan pie.
That's your favorite pie, pecan pie? I was going to ask you which one's your favorite. The other question he has is right Twix or left Twix? Well,
I'm left side and I'm also right side, so I will choose the left side because that's the way I learned how to write first.
Okay. All right. So left Twix then. So you left Twix or right Twix? Left Twix. All right. English or Spanish? Riley will ask this question: English or Spanish?
I can do both.
You can do it. No, but which one do you like doing more, English or Spanish?
I think English, but I can communicate a lot better in Español. But I can do English, my favorite. But I can communicate. Puedo comunicarme muy bien. Soy habla parlante. Check that out.
All right. Well, those are your 2 minutes of rapid fire questions. They're very basic questions. They're just fun, something to lighten up the mood. Usually we get a lot of random people asking questions, but not today, apparently. Okay, Ms. Miller, when you're running because you're running for BISD, what's your opinion on the students, teachers, and staff going back to campus because of coronavirus?
No, sir. The staff and the students should be able to stay at home because if anybody else, including Governor Abbott, says that Rio Grande Valley, is kind of still with COVID and this and that, why expose somebody to go and get illness or a death that they cannot afford to be in the hospital or a funeral? So unless there's some special need kids that they feel more comfortable on the one-on-one, these are special circumstances, like it can happen anywhere. But you ask me, do you want them, you prefer to stay? I much prefer they stayed at home. It's not to contaminate their loved ones, because you and I can be out there and you and I can be immune, But God forbid that we come home and contaminate our loved ones. That will be catastrophic. Does it
One of
make
the
sense?
reasons, yeah, well, one of the reasons that the school district is having difficulty wanting to bring the students back is because they want funding. They're afraid the state won't pay out
And you
for
know
students.
why they need funding, sir? Because of poor management. Because the superintendent was allowed to bring all his chichincles from wherever he brought him, los dos deputies, el que es el architect, y luego el otro el CFO, y la one de food service, the ones that we know of. How about the ones that we don't know of que se trajo para acá? Y esos no están consumiendo aquí en las taxas que les estamos pagando. So his poor management are paying, the citizens were paying catastrophic amounts. And when they raised taxes last time, they raised taxes because they were on the red. Because if you look at the financial report for BISD, which I always keep tabs on, tenían 50 million on the red a few years ago, and then primero tenían 20 million on the red, 30 million on the red, 50 million on the red, y luego de repente para cubrirse taparse the mistake they were doing, they raised the taxes with the que te lavaron el coco con diciendo que te iban a hacer quién sabe qué tanto esto y lo otro fake promises, pero era puro nomás para pura mentira, para decir necesitamos subir las taxas para hacer esto, para hacer lo otro y para acá y para allá, y ese dinero ya lo debían, ya estaban on the red. So now, who's the one that is paying more? The citizens of this community, they have to pay taxes for BISD, que también pagan por el puerto, pagan por el pagan por el otro, pagan por el otro, y si tienes una casa, estás pagando para todos, y luego ni siquiera te están dando los servicios que se deben requerir, los mínimos servicios, sino que te están exponiendo para que vayas allá y pesques una enfermedad que puede ser detrimental para tu familia. That is my humble opinion, sir.
Yeah, Ms. Miller, Claudia had made a comment. Josh, can you put the comment back that Claudia had? I want to make sure. What are they?
Claudia.
What they are doing is stealing the kids' money. That's what Claudia is saying. Ms. Miller,
Claudia,
would you be?
You know, because there's been some instances cuando se perdió dinero del cochinito allá en Burns, y se perdió dinero de quién sabe quién, y se perdió dinero de, remember the lady que se estaba clavando el dinero ahí en food service que le daban del gym cuando había juegos que le daban el dinero y traía bolsas caras? What are they doing to stealing the kids' money? You know what? Depends who you know. ¿Qué pasó con toda la comida que se estaba trayendo, la comida podrida de, my opinion, lo estaba viendo de quién sabe quién, dónde, de México, y being approved by Region 1, y se estaban enfermando los muchachos, y luego de repente se murió Dr. Escobedo, que en paz descanse, se murió Mr. ¿qué será? Capistrán, que en paz descanse. So, did I need to say more? Depends who you know.
Miss Miller, what if the state decides not to pay out because students are not going on campus? And you're elected, would you be willing to spend taxpayer money to sue the state of Texas in order to recoup the money lost?
Well, right now, in my opinion, the useless attorney, Mr. Baltasar Salazar, he needs to go ahead and figure something to earn his job. So to answer the question, San Antonio superintendent se los amarró y dijo, we're not going to go back. Bring it on. Y este señor que le pagan 2 veces más que los otros superintendentes o 3 meses más, y ahí está nomás sentado, haciendo que, maybe rascándose la de esa a ver cómo va a ser para echarnos otras mentiras.
No, but would you vote to sue the state in order to get the money back? That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I want to get you on record. Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah. Because
but remember, it was not going to be only me. It's going to be a cohesiveness of all the board of directors.
Yeah, I understand.
Yo puedo decir que sí, los otros demás dicen que no.
It can happen. Yeah, no, because the idea is you're trying to. I assume you don't want the students to go back to school. That's what you said right now. and then the BISD would potentially lose money. And I think it's important to know how you, as a board member, would try to make
BISD is
sure we
already
get the money
losing
back.
money, sir. You know why they're losing money? Porque muchos niños vienen de México y no pueden pasar el puente. So, what I strongly recommend, todos los que me están escuchando, si pueden hacer un request de public information y preguntan cuántos niños están ahora apuntados en la escuela de atender, how many kids are enrolled in the Brownsville Independent School District, porque de eso van a sacar para deshacerse de empleados. And again, it's my humble opinion, porque si no tienes suficientes niños, ¿cómo vas a hacer los salarios de los empleados? Y si no tienes los salarios de los empleados, te van a hacer la vida pesada para que te vayas para que so you can resign your job. And
Yeah.
remember, a lot of here in Texas, muchos de los empleados están at will, o sea que te pueden despedir y no tienen que darte razón. ¿Es cierto o no es cierto?
Yeah, it is. What are your thoughts on Phil Cowan being Escamilla? I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Excuse me. We love Mrs. Miller. She's awesome, very knowledgeable. Miss Miller.
Thank you, man.
In office for 4 years. In that time span, he has lost several thousand students in terms of enrollment. Several thousand students have lost since he's been in office.
I remember that I was at the gym and I saw Mr. Phil Cowan and he says, no te retires porque te van a dar mucho dinero que ya está pre-approved. Y yo nomás me quedé like, yeah, right. ¿Me entiendes? Nomás, yeah, right. Ese dinero que ya estaba pre-approved no le dieron nada a los empleados, nada más que migajas. Entonces, desde que él comenzó, hubiera sido proactive y no con sus mentiritas blancas que nomás te trata de periquear.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, I understand. My question is that, we've lost students in terms of enrollment, yet we're increasing the amount of money going to administration. What would you do if elected in order to get more students back to BISD? And
there's
would
some things that need to be done.
Money
Marketing to get the students from the charter school and the private schools, but then we also have to market with good customer service. And the other thing is start deleting the big honchos that are useless because they are there just taking the money, the big money que podía ser para los empleados de BISD, los que de verdad trabajan, los voceros, los de food service, los classified, los teachers, toda la gente que de veras necesita el dinero que se está poniendo expuesta. Eso es lo que debía de haber hecho desde el primer principio. No nomás decirnos que, yo hice esto, y luego toda la gente se da cuenta que es mentira. No, hombre, yo hice lo otro. Y luego todos los demás, no digo quién, porque ya sabemos quién, share, like, share, like, y luego se miran mal porque están sharing lies.
Ms. Miller, what other than marketing, what can and customer service, what do you think can actually be done as a board in order to increase the number of students coming into BISD? Because this isn't just a phenomenon happening at BISD. I interviewed 2 candidates for school board in San Benito, and they're experiencing a 25% decrease in the number of enrolled students. They had 12,000 students as 2 years ago. Now they only have 9,000. That's a 25%
Mira,
decrease.
sir. Si no tienes un safe place for the kids to enroll and to go back to school, the kids are not going to go back to school and they're not going to enroll. If you are a parent of minors y miras que no está sanitado, no está limpio, no está esto, according to the guidelines, you're not going to send your kids out there. You're not going to register them. And they're not even registered at like the charter schools or the private schools. Now, the private school and the charter schools are being more lenient and working with the parents, which BISD has failed to do. Because muchos padres tienen que ir a trabajar y les dejan los niños a los abuelitos. ¿Y cómo los abuelitos se van a conectar en un internet cuando no saben manejar la mayoría del tiempo un iPhone o esto y lo otro? O los iPads. Sir, please. ¿Ves? So, tienen que tener comunicación, una open communication con los padres. Bueno, ¿quién es el que va a ayudarle al niño? El abuelito. Bueno, pues tráigalo acá, vamos a tener entrenamiento para enseñarlos a los muchachos, o mire, les vamos a tener ese en distance, vamos a poner 6 aquí, 6, like a 6 feet separate, los vamos a hacer. Hay muchos auditoriums, hay muchos de esos buses que pueden levantar gente y llevarlos. When there's a will, there's a way. And BISD has failed to provide customer service and open communication with the community and especially the parents. That's why we're failing the kids. Simple as that, sir.
No, I mean, I want you to be able to explain yourself always, and I appreciate your answers. Ms. Miller, as a trustee, it's very difficult if you're in the minority. How would you? Is there anybody on the board right now that you can work with in order to potentially get a majority on
To
the
be
board?
honest with you, I can work with anybody on this board, on the next board. I can work with anybody. And being in the military, you go to the field with 350 people to 400 people, and you have to work with everybody for the best of the community. And here, I can work with anyone and everybody.
What about the
Not
superintendent?
judgmental.
Would you be willing to fire the superintendent?
If I'm one of all of them, remember, it's not just the firing. You have to go ahead and a procedure is to go ahead and you need to do this, to do this, to do this, to do this, so he can go ahead and do the thing that is required. Because I remember that with Dr. Montoya and then with Miss Dr. Sendejas, every month they had an evaluation for them. And it can be done. There's a procedure to go ahead and deal with a superintendent that is doing less than desirable job.
Yeah. Do you, what about earlier you mentioned the board attorney? There's really, I asked you about the administration cost that it's gone up, the amount, and you want to cut, do you have a way as to how you as a board member would pay for administration?
Mira, sir, there's always a list that they call it the LIFO list, last in, first out. And it tells you how many years an employee works there, how much money an employee is there. So based on the LIFO list, it tells you right there on the area administrators, this is how much so-and-so they're making and how long they've been there. On the deputy for the superintendent, this is how much they're making and how long they've been there. And then, according to finances, the CFO, which they brought him, se trajeron el carnal de allá del otro lado del charco, él va a decir, no, pues mejor prefiero correr a los bus drivers, a los de ese food service, porque I don't empathize with them. Mejor me quedo acá con la clica, que son los que me están, ¿cómo se dice? Quid pro quo, o me están así, mochate.
Well, the only specifically the superintendent and the board attorney are the only two people that the board specifically can fire. Would you be able to?
That depends.
No, I like my Spock shirt. I like my Spock T-shirt.
That depends if the attorney, if the board attorney is a contract or if he's an employee of BISD, because you have to find that out. We don't know that, or I don't know that.
I believe that Oswald made it very clear that the school board attorney, is a vendor. So I would assume you'd be able to hire and fire him, especially he's the board attorney specifically for the board.
Well,
I believe it's very similar to the city commission.
Si ustedes votan por mí para que sea parte de su siervo en la mesa directiva, yo les puedo asegurar que los primeros que van a salir para afuera son los chichincles que hacen más feria y que no hacen nada, que viene siendo comenzando desde arriba para afuera, pero tiene que ser una forma y un plan de cómo tiene que ser, porque si no están haciendo nada y nomás están sacando los dineros y los fondos, como dice usted, se los están robando, entonces tiene que hacer algo. Lo que es justo es justo.
Do you think it was
no racism, no respect? I like that.
Yeah,
Se quedaron
that's what I'm gonna say.
Con todas las de esas, nomás te dieron, dijeron que a las teachers les iban a dar que 3,000, 5,000, y eso dijo Mr. Cowan que les iban a dar, y luego de repente yo oí, porque me habló una maestra y me dijo, nomás me quedan $150 y los tengo que poner en supplies, en esto y lo otro, y me están haciendo trabajar porque tengo que estar en online y tengo que enseñar a los niños, también los que vinieron 3, 4 a la escuela, y luego aparte de eso, I'm supposed to start from 8 to 5, y estoy aquí desde las 7 de la mañana y son las 7:30 de la noche, and I'm still there. Okay?
Yeah. I made a mistake. Erasmo, you're saying I misunderstood you when you said vendor. I guess he's the contract employee. Ms. Miller, do you believe it was a mistake for the school board to do a raise in the middle of a pandemic when private entities and private school, private
Let me put it to you this
your
way.
job.
This money was already given by the state. So it didn't have nothing to do with BISD. It was not really money that BISD had anything to do. The state les dio este dinero para que le dieran a los empleados. Y lo que hizo BISD, se mochó con algo, desapareció la otra parte y nomás les dio puras migajas a los pobres empleados. This is a true fact.
Yeah. No, I believe you. I believe you're an informed person. You wouldn't be running if you weren't informed. The reason I asked you that particular question is because people are concerned about that. You have throughout the country, people are seeing teachers upset about going back to school, and yet they're wanting to raise and they want all these things. And conservatives are very upset about that. They don't like the fact that this is happening. Why are government employees getting raised?
From a teacher's perspective. From a teacher's perspective is, si me dijiste que me ibas a dar $5,000 de raise y no me diste nomás que migajas, y luego me tienes trabajando longer hours donde me sale 50 centavos por hora, and then todavía me tienes como que you might not renew me, the contract is the instability que I might get sick, I might bring the illness to my loved ones, y luego que a lo mejor no tengo trabajo para este año que viene, la 21, 22 o esto y lo otro. Wouldn't the employees will be upset? I'm even surprised that they're the employees of Brownsville Independent School District are not calling a sick out day. O sea que todos se enfermaron y a ver qué va a hacer el superintendente, a ver qué van a hacer todos los administradores, a ver qué van a hacer todos los que no trabajan y que les dan el buen dinero para quedarse haciendo nomás rascándose la barbilla. Make sense?
Ms. Miller, I didn't want to keep you longer. It's already 8:31. I usually only go about an hour, and I want to respect your time and the people that are watching. This is usually my last question for every interview. Is there anything in particular that you would like to say that, whether a topic I didn't bring up or a question I didn't bring, but you are passionate, you want to say? That's your opportunity to
Lo
ask.
único que les puedo decir a todos los empleados y la comunidad, todos los empleados de Brownsville Independent School District, la ciudad, el condado, yo soy su servidor para lo que se les ofrezca 24 horas al día, 7 días de la semana, 365 días del año. La razón que digo esto es porque mi teléfono puede agarrar international, even if I go to Monterrey, México, or Monterrey, California, or if I'm in Spain. I might not know the answer, but I can connect you to someone that does. Y como les digo, mi teléfono es el 210-269-9999, si gustan, su humilde servidora, y el otro es 956-908-0084, y mi correo electrónico es millerarge@gmail.com. Si usted gusta desahogarse, yo la escucho y le puedo orientar según sea su concern o la forma que usted necesite que se pueda resolver su problema cualquier que tenga. Con eso les digo, Dios me los bendiga, me los cuide y me los proteja, y manténganme en mis oraciones porque la batalla comienza desde hoy hasta noviembre 3. Remember, November.
Yeah, Ms. Miller, I forgot to ask you, do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook account or for your campaign?
I have a Facebook account, millerarge@gmail.com. That's you can look at me as Miller Arge. That's really, in my Twitter, in my Instagram, in my Snapchat, you name it, I got it.
Okay. If you don't mind sending that over to Manny, so that Manny can a message to Manny, and that way Manny can post it on the link at some point, so that we try to do that. We don't always do that, but we're trying to do that as much as possible. Ms. Miller, thank you so much for coming on. Don't go away yet. Give me a second. I got to make a quick little speech. Thank you again for coming. Guys, that's our show for today. Tomorrow at 7:30, Manny will be back. And I think Josh will be joining us. He won't be having to man the Manny station. But tomorrow we're supposed to have John Chambers, who's the Republican nominee for Cameron County Sheriff, with us at 7:30. So we look forward to having him. We will be having Saturday shows now. So we're going to be going Sunday through Sunday every day at 7:30. Manny is working on having us have somebody for Friday specifically, and he's working for us to have somebody on Saturday. But most definitely Sunday we'll be discussing have our RioPolitics. our Real Politics cruise, where we're going to be specifically talking about what's happened this week in national politics. We may do that on Friday and Saturday as well, depending on who we have as our guest. So thanks again for Ms. Miller. I really appreciate you coming on. I would love for you to come back again there in October when early voting is starting to help promote your candidacy. That's what we're here for. My job, I feel, since there aren't any pachangas, there aren't any coffees or any of that stuff, I want our venue to be an opportunity for you and every
safe venue.
Right.
This is the safest venue that can be.
Yeah, I think so. I hope there is. It's about you. So there's an open invitation to Philip, your opponent. I've made comments on his thing. There's an open invitation. He hasn't taken it. It's his fault. So Phil, if your opponent wants to come on, I've asked Vito. Manny has asked Vito multiple times. Your opponent, he doesn't want to come on. We've had Jessica on. I think Jessica's going to come on again in the next week or two. But for some reason, Vito and Philip don't want to come on. That's their problem, not mine. But I appreciate you, Ms. Miller, for coming on, and God bless you. All right, God bless you all. This is Real Politics
Thanks for the invitation.
Good night, everyone.
Wait, Josh. We don't do the news. We just help you see it. God bless you.